Hello everyone and welcome back to Scorpio Tech. In this video I'm going to be checking out the Keychron Q1 Max 75% wireless mechanical keyboard. They're marketing this as an open source customizable keyboard thanks to its QMK and VIA software support, but for £205 or $230, let's find out if it's worth the investment. You do have a few options at checkout with this board, such as a carbon black or shell white colorway, as well as a choice of Keychron Jupiter red, Jupiter brown and Jupiter banana switches. And you can of course pick it up fully assembled as you will see in this video, but if you are looking to mod then they do offer a bare bone kit as well. But for this video I have the fully assembled Q1 Max in carbon black with the Keychron Jupiter red linear switches. Some of the key features of this board include a 1000Hz polling rate, hot swappable switches, a CNC aluminium body, double gasket design and a whole load of acoustic layers to create a great typing experience you can both hear and feel. And I'll cover those and various additional features in more detail throughout this video. Inside the box you get a handy quick start guide giving you information on how to connect the keyboard, adjust the RGB, use various keybinds, and also about the Keychron Launcher App where you can remap keys, create macros and much more. And also a nice little reminder not to destroy your switches immediately. Cheers Keychron. Now moving on to the good stuff, we've got the Keychron Q1 Max 75% keyboard itself, which comes well packaged and protected, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. Also in the box we've got a keycap and switch puller, screwdriver and hex key for modding purposes, Windows versions of some keycaps as it comes with Mac on by default, a braided USB Type-C to Type-C cable with an included Type-C to Type-A adapter, as well as a 2.4 GHz wireless receiver. But that's enough waiting, let's take a closer look at the Q1 Max keyboard. And I've got to say, this keyboard is a beauty. It honestly feels like it was designed specifically for me. It perfectly matches my aesthetic and favorite colorway. But the main thing I noticed that you obviously can't see on camera is just how heavy this thing is. But in a good way, if that makes sense. It feels so premium in hand, the materials, the finish. It's honestly an incredible first impression. And you haven't even heard the keys properly yet. Wow. On the back of the keyboard you've got your USB Type-C port, a Windows and Mac switch, as well as your switch for wireless, wired and Bluetooth connectivity. And just before I forget, this keyboard is available in US ANSI layout as well as UK and German ISO layout, so it should have you covered with options. I personally find the Q1 Max to have a really comfortable typing angle, although there are no adjustable feet on the bottom of this board, which might be an issue for some of you. This keyboard also features a customizable volume knob, which is a very nice addition to the keyboard and once again feels really high quality. Overall, I absolutely love the design of the Keychron Q1 Max. It looks great and feels premium, and so far I can definitely understand the pricing of the keyboard. But let's move on and take a look at the features it has to offer, as well as the typing experience and of course the sound test. But just to recap quickly, this is everything you get inside the box, which again I think is very fair considering the price, and it's nice that they give you some basic tools if you do wish to mod the keyboard, although honestly it's fantastic as it is. And just before we take a look at those Keychron Jupiter red switches, let's change those Mac keys out for the included Windows keycaps. So onto the switches, and as I mentioned, these are Keychron's Jupiter red linear switches that are pre-lubed and aim to be quiet whilst also giving you that sought after sound. The keycaps are really fantastic quality as well, thanks to being double shot PBT, and they have what they call an OSA profile, which is similar to OEM but with a spherical angle. The Jupiter red switches have 3 pins, but with the board being both 3 and 5 pin hot swappable, you are free to change them as you wish, but honestly I am really liking these switches. They feel incredibly consistent across the entire keyboard thanks to a great use of gaskets, premium materials and acoustic layers. It genuinely goes into my top 3 keyboards in terms of typing sound and feel. But don't just take my word for it, take a listen for yourselves. Now it might not be that really thocky sound that some of you are after, but it has such a nice, soft, smooth and soothing sound to it. It's quite hard to describe really. I just hope it comes across on YouTube as I'm hearing it in person. But yeah, I love it. It's not too loud or in your face, but it's subtle, sounds clean, and best of all, it feels great to use in both work and gaming scenarios. Moving on though, let's take a look at the various connection methods that the Q1 Max has to offer. So we've got tri-mode connectivity consisting of Bluetooth, wired and 2.4 GHz wireless for both Windows and Mac, which we can can easily toggle between via the switches on the back of the keyboard. So for wired, you would either choose Mac or Windows, then pick the central USB icon option, and this is also how you would charge the keyboard's internal battery. For Bluetooth, you just have to choose the BT option on the right switch, and this runs via Bluetooth version 5.1 and can be connected with up to 3 devices at the same time. Holding down FN and 1 for 4 seconds will initiate pairing mode, and then you'll be able to see the keyboard from your Bluetooth devices and connect very easily. And lastly, for 2.4 GHz wireless, simply set the switch to G mode, pop the included 2.4 GHz receiver into a spare USB port, and it just works. No messing around, it's very easy. The Q1 Max features a 4000 mAh battery, which from my experience so far will last upwards of 150 hours if you go without any RGB lighting on, but that does drop down to about 60 hours with the RGB lighting at full brightness, which I think is fairly decent. Speaking of, this keyboard features south-facing RGB lighting, which gives a nice glow between the keycaps, although you aren't going to get the full benefit of this with the included keycaps. I personally don't think this keyboard needed the RGB, but I'm sure some of you will really appreciate it, and you can of course customize the lighting with some keybinds, but I would highly recommend using the Keychron Launcher software to adjust everything on the keyboard. This software can be easily accessed through your browser by visiting launcher.keychron.com, and I'll also leave a link to that down in the video description. Once there, you have to make sure to connect your keyboard via USB or 2.4 GHz wireless, and then you can hit connect. After a few moments, you will have access to a whole load of options, including the ability to remap keys on various layers, adjust the RGB backlighting, create macros, update the firmware, and test your keys. Overall, I have loved using the Keychron Q1 Max keyboard. There's honestly not too much I can even be critical about. I think it does everything it sets out to do and more than justifies its price point with the quality and performance it offers. I guess it would have been nice to have seen rapid disassembly functionality to make modding that little bit more accessible, but honestly it's fantastic as a standalone keyboard, and it's great that modders can still access whatever they need to, albeit a little bit slower than on some other new keyboards. Don't get me wrong, it's not packed with gaming focused features, so if it's purely for gaming then this probably isn't the keyboard for you, but as a what I would call hybrid work and play keyboard, I think it ticks practically every single box. It's incredibly well made, looks fantastic, sounds great, and honestly just does all of the basics right. I am very impressed. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.